What's up, yo? You got the RZA, and you're watching Sweat the World, right here. You heard what I said? I said, this is the RZA, the man with the iron fist, and you're watching Sweat the World.
What's going on? It's Wahid. I have the pleasure to be with, I'd like to say my teacher, the RZA, today. Since I was yay high, he basically, raised me, the culture that we live in and everything like that. And it's just an honor to be with you right now.
Respect, bro.
I just want you to real quick go into the Iron Fist and talk about this whole movie thing that you got going on.
Well, The Man with the Iron Fist is a movie I directed. I also wrote the story and wrote the screenplay with my buddy Eli Roth. It's presented by Quentin Tarantino. It's an action-packed film with great action off the top. It's just really, man, this is a fun popcorn movie. And personally, how I feel about it, I personally feel like when I made 36 Chambers. It was a new thing, a new album, a new movement that sparked a lot of other things. Go see it, or I might have to send somebody to come see you.
Dope. Let's take it back a little bit. As a kid, I know I've read stories about you and ODB, rest in peace, running through Times Square and just going to see all these different kinds of movies, martial arts movies. Did you ever envision at that age you would be where you are now?
I won't say I predicted it, but I imagined it. When I founded Wu-Tang Clan, I was very confident and sure that the music was going to win and it was going to be successful. I did have envision and foresight on that. But for this right here, what I actually did was took the time to study and prepare for it, When I caught that bug, I guess it was hanging with Tarantino, working on Kill Bill. I just caught this bug, man. I just wanted to express my art in the highest medium and media way. But I cannot sit here and say that this is what, I predicted. This is actually something that I got as I was on the path.
That's amazing. We'll play a quick name game. I'm gonna just read some names off to you, just give me some insight. Jim Jarmusch.
Jim, cool dude. And really, he's the first guy that brought me into the whole filmmaking world. Jim allowed me to score a movie called Ghost Dog. He sought me out, he came to my office. I think we had the same weed dealer. That's how he met me, because he was looking for me, and the guy was like, oh, I know, I'll take it to his office. And he came to my office and he said he had this movie called Ghost Dog and he wanted me to score it. And that got me into the Hollywood business, my first appearance on the screen also. I'm thankful to Jim for that,
Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, my mentor, my sensei when it comes to film. I learned from Jim Jarmusch, of course, spending time as a very intelligent man. I picked up some ideas from John Woo, but it was Quentin Tarantino that mentored me and gave me the proper wisdom that I need to become a director. I call him, he's the master of pulp fiction, pulp cinema. And I'm a student of it, and I'm gonna continue to try to take that pulp, to the future.
I know you're very critical of your music, and what is it like trying to get along with certain artists or producers that are very critical in their own right? Like, how is it working with someone like Kanye West?
It was a pleasure working with Kanye. Kanye's a genius, He's a smart dude, know what he wants in life. He told me he learned a lot from me, but I can say I learned from him too, because in my generation of hip hop, we was more loose and just wild. We was wild kids, Out of 10 members, you got 7 felons. 9 dropouts. When I was doing hip hop and I was young in it, I was the meanest, greatest MC, producer, and nobody wasn't worth shit to me. That's what we felt. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Bring the fucking ruckus. We're gonna cut your head off. That's what we meant. That was the energy we brought. We thought everybody was watered down garbage. But as the art grew and touched other people and it came back around, no, it was talent popping up from everywhere. So as a man, I kind of realized the difference of taste, But when I was just beginning the RZA Wu-Tang, I only had one taste. That was Wu-Tang sound, the Wu-Tang philosophy, the Wu-Tang movement, which I think the world needed.
No, I think you definitely did. You guys are major inspirations on me and almost everybody I know. There's one big thing I've always wanted to know was this flood in your basement, you lost all these beats.
Yeah, it's a true story, and it happened more than once, it happened twice. when Wu-Tang first came out, I mean, I had, back in those days it was floppy disk, right? And, you know, you get the ones that hold 80 in the case. And I left them on the floor, just sitting there. And it would always, when it flooded, the sewage would always flood, man. And it flooded when I was gone, and I came home to a flood of floating floppy disk.
I read somewhere that you said those beats were better than a lot of the other beats from like all the classic albums.
Yeah, because I was such a, you know, at that time I was so much passionate into what I was doing and collecting beats and making sounds, and, you know, at the same time, I had enough to maintain myself and maintain what we gave out to the world, and that's how life is.
Another one of my favorite covers was the Liquid Swords album. I know you had a lot of, I heard that you had, well, I know for a fact that you put a lot of work into that album. That album was probably one of my favorite albums ever. Can you explain that?
Yeah, Liquid Swords, you know, after Cuban Links, we had to come harder and strong. You know, how can we keep up the energy? The Jizzle to me is the best MC ever. You know what I mean? Like the only MC that ever made me feel intimidation. To me, he's like the Shogun assassin. He's not like the Kung Fu guys that make block, punch, kick, block, punch, kick. It's just dead. And so I chose Shogun Assassin as the theme of that album. As far as the cover was done by Mathematics, who's our DJ along Mathematics. He's also the person who I hired in the early days to draw the Wu-Tang logo. I paid him a couple of $100, you know what I mean? My rent money at the time, it was my rent money at the time. And we came with a logo, and we kept altering it, you know, because the first logo was just a man holding a head, but I wanted, like, we chopping heads off, so it was a man holding a head in his hand with a sword, and then Wu-Tang underneath, you know what I mean?
Crazy.
But then as I looked at it more and more, the W stood out, and so I was like, I want to take this W and put it on a book and put this sword underneath, because Wu-Tang is not only about the sword, we're also about the book. You could choose the book or choose the sword. Either way, you know what I mean? You got to make a choice, and we're going to get you with the words. If not, we're going to chop your head off. But what we did cool about Liquid Swords was, for all the singles on the album, I came up with an idea to make each single be a puzzle, so that when you put it all together, you form the whole chessboard. You know what I mean? So that was a crazy idea I had from, you know, one of my marketing ideas.
And that's crazy because the Wu-Tang logo is like one of the most known marketable logos. Like, you can put that next to McDonald's and people are gonna recognize the Wu-Tang logo. I know from like the first Wu-Tang album to Jizza to basically every album, there's always talk about chess boxing, and can you say that you played chess your whole life, and have you made the right moves?
I think I made some good moves in my life, you know what I mean? I made some bad moves too, you know? In chess, you could lose your queen, but you can get another. So that's the good thing about chess. You can lose a piece, and if your pawn make it to the top, it becomes that piece again. And that's how it could be in life if you're lucky.